Good evening, everyone. I'm KimberlyMascaro of ConsciousChimera.com, and this is another episode of Nonfiction Bedtime Stories. Happy fall to everyone here. It's been a little while, a few months actually, since I've done one of these short videos. Today, I'm really excited to do one of my own. Just a couple weeks ago, hot off the press, was the release of my latest book, Dream Medicine. So Dream Medicine, subtitle, The Intersection of Wellness and Consciousness, was a few years in the making, or at least 2 years of very intensive writing. And I'll tell you a bit about the book, share a dream from the book. And first, though, I thought I would just read what it says on the back. If I'll put a link so you can purchase it if it sounds of interest to you. So this book, Dream Medicine, surveys both the scientific and the spiritual terrain of altered states of consciousness, highlighting how extrasensory encounters can be soul-healing balm. It explores a wide range of cultural interpretations of out-of-body experiences, from shamanic practices to the importance of dreams in ancient world cultures. Interviews with health-related professionals present unique holistic glimpses of our inner lives. And I did interview, over a dozen people for this book. Dreaming takes center stage, with the author presenting her most profound and insidious dreams. Part reference work and part guide, this book tells readers how to make the most of their dream experiences through techniques like incubation, talisman creation, tarot, and more. And so I started writing this book several years back, kind of just knowing I wanted to write another book. This is my second, and knowing, kind of having a direction. But in October of 2019, I received a pretty scary diagnosis, and then that kind of woke me up to, now I know what I'm writing this for. And so from there, it moved quite a bit quicker, and I dove in and did a lot of deep writing for a couple years. So this book is really personal. It tells a bit of my personal story and experience, and of course, like I said, I interview over a dozen professionals on how using our states of consciousness, from hypnosis and self-hypnosis to dreams to shamanic and imaginal journeying, all these things, how we can use those to support anyone on a wellness journey. And let's be real, we're all on a wellness journey. The most recent stats, for example, let's take cancer, is that 1 in 2 people, so 50% of the population, will have be diagnosed with cancer in their lifetime. So I could give you other stats, but that's not the point, really. Just knowing the point is that illness and walking a more path of wellness is something we all have to do. In this day and age, right, we're surrounded by more toxins. There's just more chemicals and toxins and things in our food, in our air, in products we put on our body or use in the house or in the yard. So we need to, in my opinion, we need to also rely on ourselves to stay well. And we don't have to just do that with things we purchase. That's very important. But we can also use our altered states of consciousness or higher states of consciousness to get feedback on how we're doing health-wise. We can use those states to enhance, to support our nervous system, to bring calm and relaxation, which supports the immune system into our lives. We can ask for healings in the dream state. I mean, you name it. This book kind of covers all of that stuff. And so I have a variety of chapters on different things. I'll tell you a little bit about those. But what I'm doing is I want to get to the back of it. Right after the conclusion glossary, there's a reference list, not only of the people that I interviewed in the book, but also people that had some really profound, and you probably can't see that there. But, sorry, fuzzy video. but people that, really walk this talk and have a lot to share from their own experiences, and they do that through their talks and classes and their own writing. So page 178 has, in my opinion, a pretty cool resource list, and I wouldn't want you to miss that. So if you do get this book, look that up, check those people out. Now, I was mentioning the wide range of areas this book covers. So I'll share the chapters with you. And so it begins with a chapter called Medicinal Dreaming. And in that chapter, I want to define what I mean by dream and also what I mean by medicine, because both of these words have broader definitions than we might just first guess. So I talk about that right away, and how I kind of, got this title. I put those two things together because they had real meaning for me. One, dreaming being a spiritual practice for me, conscious dreaming, a conscious path. And I don't just mean lucid dreaming, but a path of aware dreaming practice, conscious dreaming, and bringing that consciousness into our daily waking lives. And also for medicine, I work in the healthcare field and have for many, many years. And the term medicine seems to be so defined in such a rigid way here where I'm from in the US. And so I wanted to really expand on what does that mean, and bringing those two together was really important for me. So then after that, the second chapter is on consciousness, and it covers briefly shamanism. Then the next chapter is oracles, divination, and dream medicine in the classic Celtic, Nordic, and Germanic worlds. Then chapter 4 looks at Australian Aboriginal practices and histories, and that chapter's called All at Once Time. And then there's a chapter on dream walking. Also chapter 6, sleep yoga, lucid dreaming, and dream yoga. Then a chapter on hypnosis, which also includes self-hypnosis. A chapter on intuitive development, looking at the nervous system and regulation. Chapter 9 is Italian folk ways, where I interviewed Grace, who wrote Italian Folk Magic, a pretty awesome book. And then chapter 10, titled Surprise Visitors. So it looks at visitors in dreams, like announcing dreams and visitation dreams, for example. Also then I just got distracted, but it was important. Yeah. And then also chapters 11 and 12 look at animal and plant spirit guidance and how you feed those allies if you work with animal spirit or plant spirit. And from there, sleep hygiene, because that's extremely important for this type of work. Chapter 14 is on dream incubation. Dream re-entry is chapter 15. And then looking at kind of the challenges like nightmares and other things are covered in chapter 16. Chapter 17 is about ancestral work. And again, that's volumes in itself. But I cover things that I am interested in and practice, which are altar and shrine making. And then chapter 18 looks at amulets and talismans. And the last chapter, 19, I titled You Are Your Own Dream Dictionary. Our dream journals are the most important book we'll ever write, and I remember that from one of my teachers, Robert Moss, who kind of drilled that into me, and that always sticks with me. So that's why I call that chapter "You're Your Own Dream Dictionary." You can toss out those ones that you buy at the store, but really, your own personal, let's just say, dream dictionary is the one you write yourself, emerging out of your dream journal. And I can say more about that later. You can contact me at consciouschimera.com if you want to get into dream work. And then in there, I cover several things. One of them is something labeled Dream Tarot, because Janet Pierilazzo, she was the author of Mystical Dream Tarot and that Dream Tarot deck. And that deck emerged, those are her own images, emerged out of her own dreams over a decade. And she painted the images, and then turned them into a Dream Tarot deck. So that's what you can expect from this book, along with tons of my own dreams that I share and my own experiences. I'll share one with you now before we wrap up the video, because this is getting longer than most of my videos. So in one dream, let's see, even though there were no vehicles in this dream, at the very start of the dream, I realized I need a catalytic converter. My uncle appears and places the order. When they arrive, I see that there are many of them. There are more than I believe I need, but he tells me that's how they come in a package. And so at this point, the dream's starting to fade, and I begin to wake up in my bed, and as we're negotiating over how many I should pay for. And I have this annoying feeling because I think I only need one. I didn't know what a catalytic converter is. I'm not a car person, but I looked it up, and it made a lot of sense at the time. That if we take vehicles as a representation of our body, or how we're driving them, how we even move in the world, then needing a catalytic converter, not for the car but for the body, really can indicate that our body needs a lot of cleaning, a lot of detoxifying. So you'd get many more dreams of mine in here that really guided me along a health journey that I'm still on today. So like I said, this book came out just end of October of 2021. So hot off the press. I hope you'll consider getting it. It'd be a really great Christmas gift, or holiday gift, or Kwanzaa gift, or any kind of holiday gift. There's so many holidays at this time, but in this season. So if that's something you do, this might be a really great gift for anyone you know that is dealing with a chronic illness, or anyone who just understands the power of dreams and altered states of consciousness to be, in a way, an inner guide along our health journey. So that's all I have for you today, or tonight, I should say. It's getting late, so have a good evening. Stay warm now that it's getting cold, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.